Hey guys, welcome back to our neck of the woods. In today's video, we're going to step away from the house build and we're going to go ahead and do a long and awaited upgrade to the Porsche Cayman. So someone contacted me on YouTube because they saw my question and they also saw it on one of the Facebook Cayman sites. And basically the question was, in my last video, the aftermarket wing is basically just too heavy for the factory shocks to hold it up. Basically, you have to get a board and pry it up, or if you're out and about and getting groceries or whatever, somebody either has to hold it up or you're holding it up with one hand and you're trying to put stuff into the hatch. So it's a big pain in the butt. So he gave me a part number. He said it worked for him. I'm assuming it will work for me. He said he got them from a different website. I just plugged in the part number online, and the first thing that came up was Amazon. So hopefully this manufacturer of this part number for these upgraded shocks will work. Again, if they work, I'll go ahead and post the Amazon link where I got them, how much they were, and the part number, since I know upgrading your wing is kind of a pretty common thing that people do. I know people with Porsches either like to keep them 100% stock or they like to upgrade them. But either way, sometimes when you do aftermarket stuff, you kind of have to do more aftermarket stuff to get it to work. So let's go ahead and install these and let's see how difficult they are. All right, so install looks pretty straightforward. Basically, I don't know how well you can see it, there's a metal kind of circlip almost, kind of like that, going over top of this. Basically just a flathead screwdriver. You're putting it under here, you're kind of prying it up and out, and it'll pop out. And then you're just kind of giving it a big strong pull, tugging away. And once it pops off, you're kind of left with this little round ball here. And the shock does kind of open up to its full capacity. So pushing this down, these are actually still very good. I can't even push that down with one hand. So there's not like this wore out, it's just that they're just not strong enough. So install is going to be a little bit fun, because if these are stronger, then that means collapsing those and getting the first one on obviously isn't the issue, but getting it back on there where it's 3-4 inches away from the ball is going to be a little bit difficult. So I'm really going to have to put some effort in here to get these things to collapse, but that's surprising how much pressure these things can hold. So let's go ahead and knock out one side, see if I can actually get it installed. So I can't remember what manufacturer he went with. Basically, I think the part number works for multiple different people. Like, let's say Monroe makes one kind and somebody else makes another kind. This one here is called Stabilis, which is the exact same kind as the factory one. If you hold them up 100% equal, you can see that the new one is a lot longer. So I don't know if it's just providing more spring pressure or just because it's longer, it's just pulling that hatch up a lot taller. And when you get the hatch up, obviously not at a low angle where more weight is pushing down, if you get it more vertical, then the weight's going this way and not this way, and that may help it stand up. So again, hopefully I can compress these things and get it back on here, because both the factory and the aftermarket, they are crazy strong to compress. So when you go ahead and put these new ones on, basically you don't have to remove the kind of circlip here. The round ball on there kind of pushes it apart and separates it and then pops back on. So install is a heck of a lot easier than taking them off. Don't remove that, just push it straight on, pop it on, and you're done. The only problem I had to figure out is the aftermarket ones, I cannot compress at all. I'm about 155 pounds and I just stood on this thing in the garage, pushing down on the garage floor concrete. I can't get it to collapse at all. So as you saw me, I removed the board there, opened the hatch way further up so that it could meet the taller part of the rod, then popped it on, and now it seems to be working. So the install's fine. I was just trying to collapse it, and apparently you cannot collapse these things at all. It's insane. Alright, well, so far so good. As you can see, the hatch is almost now completely vertical because those rods are about 3 to 4 inches longer. So it is staying up with both of them. Don't exactly know how everyone's going to be able to get to that high unless you walk around to the side and kind of push it up to get up to that height. But let's see, at least from the factory height, let's see if they're stronger. Not bad. Alright, well, that works good. So install, you kind of have to hyperextend it, but at that kind of normal opening height, you can see it's staying open completely by itself. So again, either the shocks are brand new versus ones that are 10 years old now and almost 100,000 miles, so who knows how many times that hatch has been opened in its lifetime. But as you can see, the rods are also way longer, so even if these ones do start to wear out, I guess the further you push it up, the better it's going to be, so that the weight is, again, not horizontal, the weight's more vertical. But they do work, so I'll go ahead and again link the part number below, the Amazon description below, and anybody who has an aftermarket wing or the aftermarket wing with spoiler like I have from Getty Design, you'll be able to keep your hatch open now and don't have to worry about getting hit in the head. Sorry Porsche guys, but real quick on the build here. As you can see, away from the garage foundation, I got a whole lot of round stone removed, so that way I can go ahead and start backfilling this with number 57, so that way it locks in better, and we'll go ahead and taper this out. I did go ahead and use one complete pile now of the 57 round. Yesterday I went ahead and got the entire front of the house and the entire front of the garage completely done with stone, going up about pretty much the entire way. I want to say there's probably about a foot or so, let's say 12 to 18 inches of soil in here. I did go ahead and just start using the normal clay soil that we removed, and there's topsoil mixed in there too, so I can definitely tell you weeds and stuff can still grow on it, but we'll probably go ahead and throw in some bags of topsoil, and we'll wait for a few rains to happen so this can compress more, but I do have a decent taper away for right now for drainage. But again, we got the entire front done. I still need to do a little bit more. I basically put in 2 loads. Drove my tractor, used the tires to kind of compress it in here, and then brought in another load, and I stopped right about there. So you can see it's from here to here to the corner. That's not done yet. So I'm going to compress this down with my tires a little bit more, put in another one, get a proper taper off of there, and then we should have good drainage on the front of the house and the garage. I did finish the stone, sorta, kinda, on this side. It's kind of hard to finish it when I still have the sump pump and the septic that I either need to cap it or bring up a 90 or do something with that. The T's below the egress windows still need capped. But in the middle here, all the stone is about where I want it, which that's basically what I did on the front of the house too. So again, you're about a foot or so below grade with stone. So any of that clay that does go in here, obviously water's not going to pass through clay too easily, but as long as we have a good drainage out here, it doesn't really matter that water's not getting through the clay. I'll let it run off this way and let it run to the back of the property. On this side of the house, the back side of the house, again, the property pretty much goes all the way to the street, all the way to the back. It tapers back, so the front's the really only main issue. I still got to bring stone in through back here, but again, it should be pretty easy back here just to bring up stone, do the natural taper. The front's the only issue, that it's tapering towards the street, but then where's it going to go after it tapers out to the front yard? It's kind of going to have to come this way and back, or go this way and go on the other side of the driveway. But we'll see how bad rain actually does when we get a good heavy downpour. The only other thing I have to do, which is going to be an absolute pain in the butt, is it rained extremely hard. The sump pump I keep having to turn on because it's just an on-off. It's not actually a pump, sump pump with a floater in it that does it automatically. Unfortunately, with the vapor barrier being down, I know it's whited out, you can't see it right now, but with the vapor barrier down, I've got about 2 inches or so of standing water in here, and I can't brush it all over to the sump pump because everywhere the water is sitting in like kind of a little dam here, can't get it up and over the pecs. So I think today I'm going to spend a lot of time with a wet to dry vac, and I'm probably going to start in whatever corner is lowest, and I'm going to have to suck up 4 gallons at a time in the wet dry vac, pick it up, bring it over to the sump pump, dump it into the sump pump, kick it out to the yard, and I'm probably gonna have to do that 1,000 times today until I get all of that out of there. It is Thursday and we're not pouring till Tuesday because again, we've got the holiday coming up. Obviously no one works on Sundays, pretty much no one works on Saturdays, so we're kind of screwed here. So fingers crossed it does not rain again, because if I'm going to put in all of this work, getting all of the water away from the foundation, getting the sump pump, kicking everything out in the French drain, everything around, and then going in the basement and sucking all of the water off of the pecs and foam and off of the vapor barrier, only to have it rain again, I'm going to be super ticked off. So fingers crossed, we're good till Tuesday. So far the weather looks good. Today's a beautiful day. Heck, I don't even see a cloud in the sky. So fingers crossed, we'll see you guys back on Tuesday. Like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy this video. If you need to upgrade your shocks, again, post it down below. And we'll see you all around on the next video.